You're making me do another Rocky episode. This is bullshit. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Picture This, the best picture movie review show. My name is Alex, and I'm being held against my will. With me, as per usual, is Jack.
I don't want to do this, but I'm here.
Yeah, this is going to be a weird episode. Weird, bad. Don't watch it. Just like, don't watch. Anyway, we'll get to it later. Also with us, back after a while, Matthew.
Hello, yeah.
Hey, what's up? Here to not help Adelaide Spence.
What did I do?
You gave it a good rating.
Okay, and like most fucking people.
Caleb, go home.
I want it known.
Don't
red-
hurt me on this man's side.
Let's go
That's
for
not
Tito.
how
There
this
was-
Let's
works.
do this. Let's do this.
There
The
was no forethought in the idea of let's do a Rocky series leading up to Creed 3, which was promptly abandoned and fell apart after we did the first couple. And then realizing that we were going to be overlapping on the first movie with an episode we would have to do with the full group.
Immediately, yeah.
And I immediately regret having to relive the traumas of the first Rocky in Review episode with these fuckers.
We're
Because
doing
this
it
movie's
again.
great. It was great.
Time warp again. All right. This is gonna be especially weird because fuck you. I was specifically referencing the Victoria Justice. I don't know what you were doing, Spence. The better version of Rocky Horror. This is gonna be weird because most of us have already given our very public opinions about Rocky. So really, we're just here for Matthew and Spence, because two of us have already yelled it out, and then Jack, I think we needed him to operate the
Flip-flopped.
controls. Yeah,
He's a gutless
we need
flip-flopper.
Jack to.
my
I'm curious.
my
what Jack's
my
rating
favorite
is
pair of
now.
Crocs, Jack Pinchuk. We needed him to start the show. So I guess we can start with ratings. The lowest one is me, probably. It went up. If you remember, it was a 1.5 star before, and now it's a 2 star. So really, I just need to watch it 20 more times, and it'll be somewhere more positive. Yeah, I found a new scene that I liked. It was the scene of it was right before the fight, and Adrian comes home, or Rocky comes home, and he's like, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I don't think I can do this. And she's like, well, that's rough, buddy. And then cutscene. They're done. That's a very reasonable conversation for them to have had. Otherwise, I don't think this is a very good movie. I think a lot of people in it are actually really obnoxious. Everyone's fucking rude to Talia Shire. She did not deserve this. It is a really meandering script. I think the boxing in it is bad, and I don't really understand the hatred. Although I think we have, I mean, in the latest review, we have taken out any insults aimed at Roger Ebert. So don't at me about that anymore, because it's different now. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Jack.
Look, I'm sorry, but it went up. It went up by 0.5 star. It was 2.5 last time. It's 3 stars this time.
What
This-
I thought it was 3 last time, and then Alex pulled you down to a 2.5.
No, you're
No,
going in the wrong direction.
No, it was 2.5. Then Alex pulled me down to 2. Then I reverted to 2.5.
Like a coward.
No, like someone who thinks for themselves. Anyways, this movie's fine. There's moments where it works, and pretty much it's most scenes with Apollo because he's great. He's not really a villain in this movie, but you're rooting against him simply because Rocky exists and is the underdog, and you're rooting for him. I think Stallone honestly isn't good in this. I think Talia Shire is better than here's the thing. She's good for what she's given, but what she's given isn't great. Her character is honestly kind of it's kind of sad. Paulie is just the fucking worst, and I hate him. I hate Paulie so much in this movie, and that first date sequence just gets worse every time I watch it. I don't like the ice rink scene. I hate the apartment kiss scene. I don't get the love for this movie. Yes, it's a great story how this movie was made, but that doesn't always translate to a good movie. You'll get your time spent. This is a mixed bag. The boxing's not great. The boxing's not great, and honestly, if I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I rewatched it because I wanted to give it another shot after having two very different reactions, 2.5, 3 years apart from seeing it. But you know what? It exists. I'm glad it does. It just the sequels are better for the most part. Anyway, with that, we'll get to the next person, who is one Matthew Chen. Matthew, tell us why you have the same rating as me.
Yeah, no, like I think this movie is fine. It went down on rewatch, but you know, I think I like this movie as like a character piece. I think Rocky's an interesting character. But I just don't find much of the plot to be very interesting. Stallone brings a lot of heart to Rocky. I'm not a fan of the romance with Adrian. I think that's just like a really weak element of the story, and like it feels like it's just building to the final fight, which I felt a little bit underwhelmed by. But I think Creed and Carl Weathers I think are like really cool. So I think yeah, I just was not a huge fan this time.
Matthew, thank you for that. Spence, you're next.
I want to put something to rest. Is the kiss awful? Yes.
Yeah.
No defending it at all. On the Waterfront has the same fucking issue. And that's held to a higher esteem. And y'all like the romance. So, on the record.
It's also just
4
a better
stars.
movie.
Maybe.
It's not. It's not.
This is pretty good.
One is made by a shit human being, and the other is made by a goat. Anyway, continue.
Goat and Survivor terms, yes. It's a good movie. I think it gets better the more I watch it because I can settle more into like the human element of Rocky as a character. I think I enjoy that. Romance aside, I don't love the supporting cast, which I think sort of takes the movie away. You get Apollo, who's great. You get Adrian, who's pretty good here, better later. Everyone else just sort of fucking sucks. But I think as a slice of life of a dude who literally does what other people can't through just like sheer determination, I really enjoy. And I think it sort of builds to a head in a really interesting way. One of my favorite moments, which I think I put in the chat that I like more on this. I think it's my third viewing of it. Like one of the moments in fandom history that I remember like coming up is asking like, what's the decision in that match? You basically don't hear it. It is drowned out almost entirely because Rocky just wants Adrian. And I love that. No one cares about the results. You care that he got there, that he survived the fight, and that he loves his girlfriend. That's what I want for my sports movies, is pure character.
And with the highest rating from those here tonight, Caleb Coho. Caleb, tell us why you're wrong.
I'll tell you why I'm right.
Okay.
What Rocky as a film does is it is the champion of everything that humanity stands for. What this movie does in terms of capturing the human spirit in the form of one character is almost entirely unmatched on film. This is in the upper echelon of those kinds of stories. Apollo Creed is not the villain, and he's never made to be the villain. In fact, Apollo Creed is never shown to be the villain in this movie. Apollo Creed is shown to be a cocky showman who creates this fight out of pure necessity to not tarnish his own name. And he becomes the villain in Rocky 2 when his pride is bruised. That's the only reason Apollo is a villain, is in the second one. In this one, Apollo is a co-protagonist. He is literally just on his own wavelength And Rocky and Apollo have no ill will towards each other until Rocky starts winning the fight.
Hey
That's
man, do
the
you want
entire point.
$150,000? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
man.
Apollo Creed is not a villain. His entire thing is, I am the greatest fighter to have ever lived. I need to fight to maintain my legacy, my image, and my money. So what about me
Money,
creating the ultimate opportunity to celebrate what the American spirit is about and let an unknown have a shot at the title? And that is built purely out of showmanship and a little bit of hubris. And that's the only flaw in Apollo Creed is hubris. So he's not a bad guy and he's not a villain. I stand by that. You can argue he's the antagonist, but he's not. There's no antagonist in Rocky unless you want to count Gazzo as an antagonist, which he kind of is. So Paulie's also a bad human, and the movie absolutely tells you that and shows you that and doesn't want you to like Paulie at any moment in this movie. Paulie is not supposed to be likable in any way, shape, or form. What this movie shows you in every ounce of the lead up to the fight is that Rocky Balboa is a character who is a good person, stuck in a shit situation. He works for a mobster, and he's not even good at it. That he is so nice that he won't break the fingers of a guy he knows because he works for a violent criminal, and he knows the guy is just on hard times, so he won't do his job. And Gazzo himself is like, Rock, I love you. You're a nice kid, but you gotta be intimidating if you're gonna work for me, which I love. I think Stallone is brilliant. I think he's fantastic because he has a very important job to do in this movie, which is make you like Rocky Balboa and understand that he's dumb. He is a dumb, prospectless, genuinely kind human being.
I am an
stuck
unmarried
in a
woman with
world-
no prospects and no children.
Exactly. Stuck in the seedy, shitty parts of Philadelphia in the 70s, who is only good at one thing, and that's fighting. And even then, he's not very good at that. If you go look at his record, he's not good at fighting.
He's also just a
whatsoever.
bad fighter. His strategy is just, come on, hit me. Go ahead. I'm not
Exactly.
going to do anything.
Rocky is a terrible fighter. So that adds to the world and the story for me in a weird way, where it's like Rocky Balboa is just bad at everything, but just a really nice human. And he really likes this girl, and they're both socially awkward. So I understand how the romance ages poorly and looks weird and is that. And it gets better movie to movie to movie. But I understand why this is where they start out at. And I understand how it's a little uncomfortable and a little creepy because that relationship is uncomfortable because both people are not comfortable people in that first movie. So to be clear, they're not. Like Adrian's I'm not saying that doesn't justify
that's
it.
absolutely true. Like Adrian is not cool with this whole thing, and I think like the way it's written, I think is the major problem with their relationship.
Sure.
It's not that I don't believe these two people wouldn't be together. That's fine. It's that he's like, "Hey, I'm here to take you out." And she's like, "Fucking no, you're not." Retreat,
right.
retreat.
Yeah.
Right, but
That's
I
a
don't.
bad
but
look.
again,
That's a bad.
it
look.
is a bad look. But I also think there's a difference to the fuck you're not in the sense of I'm not into you and this is not cool with me.
Oh, no, she's into him.
No, you're
it's
not.
Just not.
It's no, you're not in the sense of I don't want to go out in front of people. I don't want to go in public and be perceived by other human beings. It's nothing to do with him. She likes him. It's entirely to do with I don't know how to talk. Period. That's the full sentiment of Adrian as a character.
Period.
So, yeah, really, it is. So, like, I understand why it ages weird in the optics of it all, but I also completely understand from a character standpoint why it works the way it does in this movie. And it's a good thing that it ages and grows in each sequel. But again, we're arguing the one movie. Additionally, why I love this movie is Burgess Meredith, who is phenomenal. You cannot take Burgess Meredith away in this movie as being the shittiest, cruelest, most embittered human who is like, you're a realist to the nth degree of being like, you're bad at this and I won't train you. Until he gets the shot and he's like, well, I guess I kind of have to because otherwise you're going to fucking die. And you're a nice guy. So I better do my best to make sure you don't die. And I think Burgess Meredith's great. I think Burt Young's performance is really good, even though he's playing an absolute horrible character and a horrible human being, which is the point. And like I like the basically the point of Rocky is that this is a good guy in a shit situation, surrounded by shit everywhere, and yet he's optimistic and is like, I'm gonna do this one thing that I think I can do to better my life, and even then, I don't even expect to get anything out of it. I just don't want to lose, like bad. I just don't want to get knocked out. I just want to go the full distance with a guy who has never been knocked down. And then when he succeeds and does that and gets everything he wants, it's like it's this amazing ending. It's this amazing moment. So like the reason why it's a half star off for me is for the way that the optics look. It's not great. It doesn't age super well in that relationship. And the boxing, in terms of how it is shot, is dog shit. It is not done well. Cody and I will tell you. Cody and I are the biggest fans of this in the community. The boxing in a lot of the first 1 and 2 Rocky movies are bad. The Rocky himself is a bad fighter. But you love the character of Rocky so much you don't really fucking care. So, like, that's my thing. Rocky is a triumph of the human spirit, both in the story of how it got made and the story on screen. I think Rocky is a phenomenal film, as is, and I don't give it Best Picture this year, but I am not mad that it won. I also want to say John G. Avildsen, a much better director than Elia Kazan, and a better person. And the G in John G. Avildsen, the G in John G. Avildsen stands for goated, because that man made Rocky and the Karate Kid. You cannot beat John G. Avildsen on film. So in the world of sports, so I love John G. Avildsen. I also wouldn't give him Best Director, but I'm not mad he won, and I'm not mad that this won film editing. I actually think it deserves that award. So I love Rocky to death. I think 2 of you are idiots, and 1 of you is misguided by being friends with the other 2 idiots. And Spence, I applaud you for being the most sane human on the panel for the first time in the history
My
of the show.
lowest rating for this is 3.5, like ever. Like I've never not liked it, to be clear.
I am stunned that the person with the most sensibility on the show right now in terms of liking this movie is Adelaide Spence.
You're two in the minority right now. I just want you to know that. Anyway, with that, our average rating
on the show we're the minority. In reality, we are the majority.
No.
You are you are a loud minority in real life. Yeah, exactly.
3.3 out of 5. That's our average rating, and it's pretty much spot on. It could be a little lower, but that's okay.
Jack, I don't feel like you're giving it
before we move on.
You're right, Jack. Drop it.
Oh.
Drop the rating.
All right, guys.
Hey, shush. Before we move on, we have a guest that couldn't be here tonight. So they sent in a written piece for this to me, which I will read. One Andrew James Barr. It's a 4.5-star rating from him.
He's not even here.
No, but he was supposed to be, and he couldn't be. So I told him he could send in a written piece if he liked, and he did. So I'm going to read it. I want us to still reflect the views of our guests, even if they were supposed to be on, but
not guests.
Anyway, we've had multiple people as guests. Our first one was Mike Hanley, in case you forgot. Anyway, here it is. Being from Philadelphia, I can tell you that this film perfectly captures the landscape of some of those areas, and the cinematography perfectly enhances them. I love that Rocky actually cares about the people around him, even the one young girl who talks back to him. Even if he's being tough, and he absolutely cares. The ice skating rink really does a great job of building the relationship between Rocky and Adrian. Even if the boxing isn't very realistic, it's done in a way where it captures a great energy and that builds the dramatic tension. I do have a few problems with the film. This one scene, the one scene with Adrian Rocky in his apartment is kind of awkward. And Paulie is a character that gets way too many chances. I get that friends aren't always easy people, and Burt Young is doing a great job, but that guy gets on my nerves. All in all, excellent film, and that makes my top 100, 4.5 stars.
Excellent.
All
right. We have stuff to do.
All right.
Starting with Adelaide Spence. Hit the song. That was so good. Welcome back to How Gays Go Valid, the podcast without a podcast. where we rank every Best Picture winner based on how gay they are. And I'll tell you what, Carl Weathers. Maybe the movie doesn't perceptively insinuate homosexuality between any characters. Carl Weathers. It's a very attractive man. So where are we sitting on Rocky?
Not.
I mean, this isn't even the gay one. That's
This
three.
isn't one of
If
the good
we
ones.
could judge Rocky 3, it would be the gayest Best Picture winner of all time. Full
Honestly,
stop.
yeah,
And
it
would
might
deserve
even be the Grand. It might even beat Grand Hotel.
I want it known also just for the sake of the franchise, because we didn't really talk about the franchise as a whole. We don't necessarily need to. But the Creed movies are genuinely amazing movies, and they will all stand above the Rockies because Ryan Coogler is a genius and Michael B. Jordan's a genius. And like, there's some really talented people telling a really complex story in those movies and using boxing to get through them. But focusing on the original 6 Rockies, Rocky 3 is the best Rocky. And that is because it bridges the 2 versions of Rocky that exist. The one from the first 2, which is a serious world of boxing, and the ones from 3, 4, and 5, where it is a cartoon. And Rocky 3 is also the gayest one, and therefore the best one. So,
True.
this movie's not very gay.
No.
No, I think
No,
we
it's
can.
not. It's not very gay.
I also wouldn't call it anti-gay, but it definitely rides that line with its supporting characters.
Listen, Burt Young and Burgess Meredith are probably homophobes.
Oh, almost for sure.
Women weaken legs.
It's not gayer than Peter Lorre.
I
I
love
feel like that's-
Women weaken legs.
Like,
It's only men from here on out.
gayer
Women
than
weaken
military
legs.
dudes fucking constantly.
It's probably
Yeah,
true.
no. It is not gayer than From Here to Eternity.
All right. How about
I would. I'll be honest. I would drop it low just because it would like everyone in here is probably homophobic besides Adrian.
That's fair. Probably below all the.
I would put it. Well, no, I would put it below Oliver, above Gentleman's Agreement.
I was
I'm
going to
good
put
with
it
that.
above
That's
French
fine.
Connection, but I'm okay with
Put it below the
above
musical.
I-
The musical's better than anything
I
else.
cannot put it below above any musical because inherently there is a touch, if you will,
a touch
the
of
gay.
fruit in every musical.
A little bit of the gay.
What's a gay
in
play?
every musical.
All
If
right.
you do
I
a
think we
twirl,
A gay play is a
automatically.
musical.
I think we can settle for Rocky at number 40, above
Yeah, I think
Gentleman's
that's fine.
Agreement, below Oliver.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Cool. We got majority. There we
All right,
go.
Spencer, the song. All right, Matthew, hit the song.
Asian.
Welcome back to $1 Million Racist, the podcast where we rank every Best Picture winner based on how racist it is. Is Rocky racist?
Probably like
I don't think so.
No.
I think there are actively like minority characters in positive like major roles in this movie. Like
Yeah.
as positive figures, Spider Rico and Apollo Creed are never portrayed in negative lights. They are portrayed as fellow fighters that are in opposition to Rocky in the ring, but they are not bad people and they are not actually antagonists in the world of Rocky.
Apollo's the coolest
Yeah,
and best boxer of all
Can I-
time.
Yeah.
okay,
maybe
I do
Apollo
wanna-
Creed is literally the most successful boxer in the history of the sport. At the start of Rocky, he has never lost.
I have one
Like-
wrinkle I want to add because of Alex. I completely remember him lobbying when y'all did the Rocky retrospective. Is the language used to describe his fighting style versus Rocky's?
That's true.
No,
mean
because
Southpaw
they never do
or-
that in the movie.
Oh, they
This
don't?
is
I
something
didn't-
that this is something that I brought to the Rocky retrospectives. My experience is when like this idea that like Rocky's the blue collar, like the working man's fighter, like the blue collar fighter, and so he's like a slow, sluggish, like oh god, I'll get there kind of a fighter, whereas Apollo is has this like incredibly fancy athletic footwork. He hits fucking hard. Like this is something that is more boxing history than it is anything that's explicitly said in the
Oh, okay.
actual
So
movie.
I meant to understand.
It's portrayal. It's like it's something that's there, but it's not anything that's like got anything to do with like anything. It's just
Okay.
they got Carl Weathers, who's an incredibly athletic guy, to play this boxer, so they have to move around a lot because he would. Like it's not it like this
Yeah.
this it has nothing to do with
Because
anything.
Carl Weathers can physically do it.
Right. It has nothing to
I
do with
genuinely
anything.
don't
that's in
think
the movie.
I don't think Rocky is racist really in any way, shape, or form. I think it's actually in a lot of ways progressive for the 70s.
The
Hear me
at
out.
most
Let's
you
put
could
it-
argue, like, and this is like a very distant argument, but like you know how people say like Tarantino's racist, where but a bunch of cool
Yes.
characters are always in like Sam Jackson or whoever plays a bunch of cool characters. So like like the story doesn't really add up super well. It's like
Right.
that.
Mhm.
Eric, hear me out. Let's put it with y'all sentiment above Sound of Music, below of The Apartment, because it seems actively anti-racist.
I would put it. I think it's less racist than The Sound of Music, and yeah, I'd put it right there,
Yeah.
below Sound of Music, above The Sting.
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with this.
Because at the end of the day, The Sound of Music features Nazis.
Yeah,
So-
but they're bad.
There.
sure, but they exist. Therefore, racism exists in the world.
Oh yeah, because in every movie we watch, Nazis just happen to not exist.
Nope, but just we're talking about Nazis.
Yeah. Think of all the Nazis.
Exactly, Spence. Think about the Nazis. Matthew, at the song.
Probably not.
Asian.
All right, so I don't know if we have any other podcasts on the podcast because we don't have any Nazis to kill in this one, unfortunately.
I wasn't able to watch any extra credit for
Jack
the
Flip.
show.
We don't hold
but I've
hands
seen-
anymore.
Dragon the clip. Dragon the clip.
What? No,
Oh, Jack in the Clip.
stand-up
Dragon the
performance.
clip.
Oh,
Dragon
sorry,
the
no,
Clip.
he's right. Spencer Jack's right. We have to do stand-up performer.
Oh shit. Okay,
And we have to
so
write
I have a
the
hot take that I should probably start with.
Sure.
Talia Shire. Bodies.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Every second
Not
she's.
bad
Well,
for me.
'cause I know that like Carl Weathers is probably gonna be the pick. You're gonna say Burgess Meredith. I think Talia Shire is the stand away. Like she is. Every time there's a scene and she's in it, I'm looking at her. Nobody else.
I think she's good. But
I would
wouldn't
go
say
I would
she's
go
the
Carl
overall best.
Weathers. I would go Carl.
I would
Weathers
also go
personally.
Carl Weathers.
I would
For
go
the-
Carl
just-
Weathers as well.
For
Yeah.
if nothing else, bringing a shot of adrenaline, a shot of energy into an otherwise like very 70s walk and talk kind of movie. Like, by God, when he's on screen.
I'm,
I
I'm
think-
looking at him too when he's on screen. I get it.
I agree with this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the thing that Carl Weathers adds to this world in a way that the other characters don't is that he is the only character that's not in the situation that Rocky's in. Whenever we get to leave Rocky's situation and go be with Apollo, it is jarring and interesting because you are no longer in the slums of Philadelphia in this really seedy part of the world. You are with this like extremely famous, extremely wealthy superstar in American culture with Apollo Creed, and you get to see his internal struggles and see how he views Rocky's world. And I think that's super interesting. And I think Carl Weathers then, when he inserts himself into that world for the fight, it becomes super interesting to see him in Philadelphia when he goes to see Rocky, when they meet in the press conference and see how those were. It's LA meets Philadelphia is every time those two are on screen together. I love it. So I think Carl Weathers is great. Spence is obsessed with Coppolas.
I mean, I like Nick Cage. Best Coppola.
Famously obsessed with the Coppola.
You literally is Moonrise Kingdom your favorite, Wes?
Yeah.
That's my
That's written by a Coppola, so there you go.
true.
Hell yeah. Let's go Roman. I don't know if that's Roman.
It's Roman.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Where do
So
we
did we
want to put-
decide? Did we decide on what-
Carl
on what-
Weathers is majority.
I think that's the majority. Matthew, do you
Lou
have?
Yeah,
Ayers.
I think Carl Weathers.
Below Lou Ayers.
below Lou Ayers?
I would
agree.
go. I would go higher. But
Damn, can I see the list?
Yeah, can we go
Um,
higher than this?
I just based on this, I'm willing to go higher than Joan Fontaine even.
I would go below.
I would go
Joan
higher than
Fontaine.
Joan Fontaine as well.
I would go
You're
lower than
idiots,
Joan
but
Fontaine.
okay.
Well, that's okay.
Below
That's if we
Claudette
that's
Colbert.
that's three of us if we go below Joan Fontaine.
Perfect. All right. below Joan Fontaine.
Below Lou
There's
Ayres.
Girl.
I would say below Lou Ayres. Where
I
would
would go above Lou
Yeah,
Ayres.
there's only two of you. There's only two of you on that.
Okay, then where are we putting it?
above Barry
I would go
Fitzgerald.
above.
Barry Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
I would go above Joan Fontaine.
you,
I would
well,
also go
there's
above
two
Joan
of you that
Fontaine.
want it above Joan Fontaine, so that's not happening.
Alex,
I'm a third.
Alex, are you going?
I think it. I think Carl Weathers.
Okay, that's three above Joan
That's
Fontaine.
still
So
three.
we're going up above Joan Fontaine again. Well, who's above? Okay, so I keep going because I think I think he's
go
better than
up.
Teresa
Yeah.
Wright.
I would
I
probably
agree.
stop. I would stop it below Harold Russell.
I would go below Harold.
I would
Russell.
I would keep pushing him higher.
I'm going below.
I would
Harold
also
Russell.
keep pushing higher.
That's
All right,
fine.
I-
that's three for below
I think
Harold
this
Russell.
is where I'm
Right,
at.
that's where we're getting stopped then.
All right. I'm just happy Carl Weathers
Let's.
is on the
I
list,
want to see
let
what's.
alone
I
number
want to see what's
24.
above because I saw In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah, can we see the full list
that's
again? Because
Poitier.
like
Sure.
it's been a minute.
We haven't done this show in a month. It's good to see y'all.
Yeah.
We still see each
right?
other like every week, multiple times.
Well, I haven't seen Matthew in a month. I have not seen
Yeah,
Matthew in the
I've been
longest
in China, so I haven't. seen
So,
Alex in a
okay.
while.
So Rocky, the
Keep
best
going
of
up. I just wanna see the
our
top
lives, In the Heat of the Night. Okay. Yeah, this is getting sound of music. Sorry, I can't.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Fuck you.
Yeah, okay. So the list is separating itself now into the performances that most of us actually like, some of these, and the performances that we think are okay, and the performances we're like, we had to pick someone. So somebody
Claudette
we
Colbert
realized
is
somebody.
too fucking
That
low.
Colbert's too low.
I agree with
Ooh.
Spence that Claudette Colbert is very low.
Ooh.
You guys put some weird people above Claudette Colbert.
We don't. Yeah.
You guys have fucking Marty Bridge American.
Hang on,
in Paris,
I'm gonna
Sound
go
of
back.
Music,
Hang
Crown
on,
Hotel.
I'm gonna go back because I think
Yeah, Ko feels like a Marty stan.
at some.
I did. No, I was the person that was the lowest on Marty of the group.
We're gonna go back through these episodes and find the standout performer.
Who's
'Cause-
we? I don't want to rewatch this.
Because some of y'all are fucking liars. We didn't get to this spot just me, Jack, and Matthew. Some
I'll
of
be
these,
honest, I think
that was
I think I
definitely
put
what
Ray Milland over Claudette Colbert. That's where I'm at.
some of these, that definitely happened. Like when we get
I'll tell you right now.
like American in
Marty
Paris?
is not one.
guilty.
I was not on the American in Paris.
Whoever the
episode, I'll
fuck
tell
you picked for
and
the
I'm
Sting,
not okay
too
with it.
high. You can't take it with
The
you.
Sting
For
was-
Jimmy Stewart, too high.
The Sting was good. I like the Sting.
Gene Kelly, disgusting.
I like Gene Kelly in that movie. I don't know what you want from me.
I agree. I
Anyway.
agree with Spence on that one.
Well, that's
Who's
two.
not
Of
rank
you.
the
with me and
movie.
losing the argument now.
That's two of you.
Where's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on this?
Oh, we buried Danny DeVito low.
Because you picked Danny fucking DeVito.
What happened?
You fuckers are idiots.
we
I hope
picked-
you
Oh,
remember.
right.
We picked Daddy DeVito.
Have we reckoned with One Flew Over the
Jack?
Cuckoo's Nest? Or
No,
did
we haven't.
he ever?
No, because Jack couldn't be there, and me and Alex were like, "This is the only time we can have Daddy Libido on the list."
Vern, I picked Louise Fletcher. They're like, no, you're fucking wrong. I was like, okay, well,
It was
Tell
it was
me-
literally
hang
the
on.
triangle
I
in the
still
middle.
think I'm right. I still think I'm right. When Danny
I'm with
DeVito's
Alex.
there, he catches your eye
Alex.
immediately. In a way
I'm with
that
All right, let's do this. Extra credit. Who watched anything?
I watched two movies.
I've
All right.
seen them before, but it's been over a year. So
yeah, same.
Okay.
Actually, I watched three. Sorry, I did watch three.
All right. Tell us which ones, and we'll rank them.
So I've watched everything but Bound for Glory. I watched all the President's Men, Network, and Taxi Driver. Like,
All right. Which one do you want to start with?
I'll start with all the President's Men. Did anyone else watch anything this week, or is it just me?
just
No,
you.
shit's been busy. I barely got Rocky in
Oh,
time.
beautiful, beautiful. All right, so all the President's Men is actually my least favorite of the four. I still think I think this is a goated Best Picture class. I think All the President's Men is terrific. I think it is a super well done political thriller. There's a lot of intrigue. I think Hoffman and Redford off each other are great. I think that we have to hold on. We have to put Jack Nicholson somewhere, Jason,
Jack
and
Nicholson.
that's our only opportunity. So there you go.
You had
Anyway,
fucking opportunity in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
But then we
Also,
don't have a
listen,
chance for
I didn't
Daddy
I
Libido.
didn't decide to skip the 76 Best Picture class. I legit couldn't watch any of those movies. And I'm
Jason,
pissed
be
about it.
proud
We
of
are
him.
too busy studying. We don't have time.
I participated. Anyway, going through the nominations that it got, because this is the way I view the Prism in the context of the show. I don't necessarily think All the President's Men wins picture, doesn't win director. Robards should not have won supporting actor. In that year, I would have given it to Burgess Meredith of the bunch. Having seen 4 of the performances, I do think Burgess Meredith deserved best supporting actor of the group. I don't think Jane Alexander would have deserved to win of her nomination. I do think All the President's Men is a deserving adapted screenplay win. I think it's a great adapted screenplay win. The script is the strongest element of the movie. Its other nominations, I think, are production design, which it wins, which I haven't seen any of the other 4, so by default, it looks great. The sets are great. The sound is great. I'll back that one up as well. That's a very deserving sound win. It didn't win editing, and that's totally fine. That movie's edited pretty well. But it's my least favorite of the 4. Then I saw Taxi Driver,
Well, hold up.
which is
hold
great.
up, Hold
Sorry.
up.
Oh.
Rank-
Am I ranking them all now or ranking them individually?
You rank them individually.
Okay,
So where
that's
are you-
fair. It's been a minute since. Throw that shit high because that's a 4, 4.5. So go up.
If that goes top 10, I'm not mad.
I haven't seen it before.
It's not the
only
best of
one.
this class, though.
Also, I so highly recommend you guys do a double feature where you watch The Post and then immediately follow it with All the President's Men. That's a great double feature. Because the ending of The Post is literally the beginning of All the President's Men.
You know, like, it's like a
Oh.
shot recreation, right?
Not a shot for shot recreation, but like it picks up immediately where it's like Watergate happens and then the opening of this movie happens, like back to back.
Mhm.
I would go higher than this. Keep going. Keep it going.
Nuremberg's 50. Oh, fuck, god damn.
Keep it going.
Eber
I
goes-
would stop. Up. I would go below the 10 Commandments, above I'm a Fugitive from a Chain Gang. That's where I'm putting it.
Wow.
Okay. So then we're moving on to Taxi Driver. This would be my second place for picture. I think it's better than Rocky. I think that Taxi Driver is, at this point in his career, Scorsese's best. Having seen all the movies up to this point for him in my Scorsese personal watch, this is the best movie he's made thus far in his career. It's a shocker that he's not nominated for director because honestly, you can make an argument he should have won. It's a great nomination for picture. De Niro is my best actor winner for this year. Full stop, because even though Peter Finch is great, he is category frauded. But full stop, De Niro should win for Taxi Driver. He's incredible as Travis Bickle. He's uncomfortable. He is unsettling, and he is a great portrait of what America looks like coming out of Vietnam and what the terrible side of the country looks like. In that part where the disgruntled feelings can come from. Jodie Foster should have won supporting actress for Taxi Driver. I'll take away Beatrice Straight's win because even though Beatrice Straight is amazing in Network, she's not in it very
One
long, and Jodie
scene.
Foster adds more. Yeah, Beatrice Straight literally has one
Yeah.
scene and a half in argument. Like, it's a scene and a half. She's really good. Her win over Jodie Foster, not deserved. Jodie Foster is bringing a lot to the story of Taxi Driver. At a very young age, like an insane performance out of someone so young. The other shocker to me is that Paul Schrader's script is not nominated. Insanity. Chris Schrader is a terrific writer, and his writing for it is great. Also, the score for this movie is phenomenal, and it should have won. It was nominated for Best Original Score posthumously for the great Bernard Herrmann. He was nominated both for Taxi Driver and Obsession that year. Taxi Driver is the best score of the bunch. Sorry to The Omen, that Taxi Driver win should happen. So I'll rank it. I think it went down a half star for me. It is a 4.5 star movie on this watch, but Taxi Driver is still great. It is at this point in my watch still Scorsese's best, but we'll see what happens the longer we go. I know I like other movies later in his career later.
Taxi
Keep
Driver
it
is good.
on.
What's does everything in 78 or 79?
What?
Does he have anything in 78 or 79?
He does New York. next.
And that's in 77 though, right?
Yeah, 77.
Okay.
It's New York, and then there's a documentary called The Last Waltz that I am skipping, but
That's right.
it's great.
I've heard The Last Waltz
from
is
what I hear.
fucking great, though.
And then it goes into Raging Bull. I would put it above Witness for the Prosecution, below The Great Dictator.
This is a fucking
Wow.
change. We're having a shit.
I personally
day,
would not, but
folks.
I haven't watched it recently.
Yeah, I'm leaving there. You know what? Great Dictator's better. All right. The deserving Best Picture winner of this year is Sidney Lumet's Network. It should have won. This is a 5-star film, arguably the best work Lumet does in his entire career. Lumet should have won Best Director in a heartbeat. This should have won Best Picture in a heartbeat. I'm not mad that Peter Finch won Best Actor for this. He is incredible as Howard Beale. The I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore is iconic for a reason. It's a phenomenal monologue. William Holden does not get enough love. If Peter Finch gets flipped into supporting, there's a real argument that you can make that Finch should have won supporting and Holden should have won lead and should have won all 4 acting categories. I personally don't agree with that statement based on the nominees, but I would not be mad if it had won all 4 acting categories. Finch should go into supporting, and then he would be my supporting winner in a heartbeat. But Finch is great. Faye Dunaway is, I think, sometimes goes back and forth for being the best actress performance of all time to win an Oscar for me. She's phenomenal in this movie. She's incredible. No, America as a Corporation is a great speech as well. I don't blame you, Payson. I could agree. I have such an attachment to it, I'm mad as hell. But Patty Chayefsky deserves original screenplay for Network. That is by far the best script from the bunch that I've seen. Beatrice Straight is great in her one scene. Ned Beatty is great in his one scene. Going through the rest of the nominations that it got, it was now nominated for film editing. You could argue it deserves it over Rocky. I personally would probably slightly lean Rocky because Rocky really relies on its editing. But on the whole, like, it's mostly an above the line work, and you could argue it should have won almost everything it was nominated for. 5 stars. It should have won Best Picture. Pace is absolutely correct. It is one of the greatest American films of all time. It is this great movie about what our country is like in a post Vietnam world. It's a super cynical film about our reliance on broadcast and entertainment and the news and media, but also about where we are at in 1976. Coming out of Vietnam is an important piece of American history on film. And if you have not watched Network, please do it. It is the deserving winner of this year, and it's not particularly close. Even though this is a great Best Picture class with a lot of great movies, I think Network is just a cut above the rest. So for me, this goes at number 5, below The Wizard of Oz, above American Graffiti. It is one of the top 5 extra credit movies we've got so far. The only reason why I put it below Wizard of Oz is because I still think Wizard of Oz is an achievement in film that I love, and the story is so classic to me, it's timeless. But Network and The Wizard of Oz, you can make an argument back and forth. I'll probably get shit for even putting it below The Wizard of Oz. But all-time great Network.
No, I am okay. I'm good with that placement.
All right, are you ready to see the change?
Let's do it. Show me the change. Boom. We now have 2 movies from 1976 in the extra credit. I love it. Beautiful. Let's rank Rocky.
Extra credit.
Everyone just like died. They all just like took a nap during extra credit.
It's been a rough fucking month in terms of studying.
As it turns
I've just been busy.
My Letterboxd metrics for like the last 2 weeks have been congratulations, you watched 3 movies a day. Basically.
Everything I've watched are movies I've seen in theaters. So
Rocky, if I remember correctly, got an average 3.3. So
Yes.
headed to the middle of the pack is what I'm hearing.
I don't want that though.
Okay.
Let's put it higher.
What's the highest you guys will fucking
Below
go?
Mrs. Miniver.
I'll go higher.
No.
That's stupid.
No.
That's stupid.
Above Mrs. Miniver.
I would be willing to put
Above
it below
Hamlet.
My Way for you
I think
guys.
it's above Hamlet for sure.
Oh, above
I
Going My
would-
Way?
I-
Anyone else? Fuck the Irish.
I'll be okay with going.
I like going.
I'll
my
be
way.
okay with going below going my way.
Fuck the Irish. Come on.
Like, hear me out, guys. In the Heat of the Night is kind of boring,
Boring.
and not very great. Besides
I
Poitier,
disagree.
it's kind of a bad movie. So I'm appealing to the non-Canadian, who I understands the importance of film in America. So I would say in the heat of the night is not as good as the impact it has, whereas Rocky is actually really fucking good and fun. Carl Weathers in Rocky is better than anything in the heat of the night.
True.
Now that's
Come
an
on,
argument
Alex.
I can get behind.
Yeah, okay,
Exactly.
Alex.
So let's go below
Alex.
going my way. Below going my way.
What? No, that's so high. What? That's an argument.
No,
What-
put
what
it
are we
above
doing?
going my way. Fuck this.
What are we doing? Listen.
I already said I am putting it above him.
Yeah,
like,
Matthew,
so
what do you
can-
think?
I said
What-
above
what
him.
did
like,
Matthew say?
I am totally okay like that. I want Mrs. Miniver though.
I want it above Mrs. Miniver. I want it above in the heat of the night,
I
like
think
really
this will
badly.
be
Just above in
Alex's
the heat of the night.
decision if it goes above Mrs. Miniver or not.
Is there anything I liked about Mrs. Miniver? I'm
Really,
trying to remember.
What do you remember about that movie?
She literally doesn't kill the Nazi, Alex. It's all we
Other than
remember.
that one
That's, you know
scene-
what? That's
What
true.
else
Teresa
do you remember
Wright
about that
is
movie?
great in Mrs. Miniver, and
Is that the
I love
movie with the
Brie Larson.
like
the
the
rose.
scene with the rose?
It's the rose.
Yes.
I like the closing.
That final
I like
speech at the end of
closing
Mrs.
But that's the
Miniver.
scene.
So
Alex,
what's the
whenever we talk about
clothes
Mrs.
or
Miniver,
Apollo Creed's boxing shorts.
when we talk about Mrs. Miniver, all we talk about is the fact that she had the chance to kill a Nazi and she didn't take it. It's the only thing we fucking remember. Whereas Rocky, you can at least talk about Carl Weathers being goated
And hot.
and hot and electric.
No, Jimmy Fox is electric.
Has Jack talked this entire time?
There's music like right next to me, so I'm muting.
We're not getting copyrighted. Somebody. Okay.
But Gonna Fly Now.
No, but it's
The music.
no, but it's loud and mildly annoying.
I don't like making
Speaking
decisions.
of music, Gonna Fly Now is like the greatest like hype music.
We didn't even
you
mention
can
that.
have.
It's one of those like most influential pieces of music ever.
Put it above Mrs. Min. It doesn't matter. Like it's not
Yeah.
good.
Would
Put it
you?
above
Would
Mrs.
anyone?
Miniver.
Would anyone go above In the Heat of the Night with me though?
No.
I would.
No,
Alex.
Okay.
I
All
would
right, I'll
not.
take it. I'll take it. Above Mrs. Miniver.
How
here we
about
go.
above the
Where-
French
above
Connection?
Mrs. Miniver it is.
Above Mrs. Miniver, I'll take it.
This
Above-
whole time, Jack was like, we'll do the right. I'll give you my opinions about Rocky. And then the one time I need his help, he just doesn't. What are we doing?
He was listening
Why?
to bad music, whatever it is.
Do
Oh,
you want
hold
to
on,
listen
wait,
to Katy
wait, before
Perry's
we're-
Roar?
hold on.
I don't know.
Yes.
Hold on.
I would love it if we listened to Roar right now.
Okay, actually, time out for sports though. We are missing one thing in the power ranking. We don't have our decade average on the 60s. Where is that, Jack?
Jack.
This letterbox is very outdated. Everything is missing.
It'll be there for the next episode.
That we don't
Okay,
have
one last
reviews
thing.
past.
We have one
what's it
last-
called? Fucking something.
We have one last thing to do before we are done, and that is
Fuck.
between me and Alex. It is called the correct list.
No,
We now have to
no,
add
that's not
to
a
the
new
correct-
segment.
Yes, it is.
Next
Yes, it is.
is
You had the
Annie
chance to be
Hall
part of
with-
this. No,
with special guest
no.
Caleb
No,
Boatman.
Jack, you do not get to do this. You do not get to do this. We created this because you were gone, Matthew was gone, and Spence allowed it. Alex and I.
I
get
didn't
to
know.
do
I didn't know.
this.
I
We all
said I
get
was
to
just
go.
fucking leaving because I didn't want to be a part of
Spence,
it.
you got to be. We offered Spence a chance to be on. They didn't. So the correct list is a segment that we now do, me and Alex, because we're tired of the bullshit. So the correct.
I don't think you
list-
want to do it this week. I don't think you want to do it this week.
I want to do it anyway. I wanna
This
do it
list
anyway.
is going to be a no, it's not going to go anywhere. It's two people that hate the movie and love the movie. It's not going to go
No.
anywhere on the list because you're both going to be
only
going to die. on
only
where
me
you
and
stand.
Alex get to vote on it because you are all idiots and assholes. So Alex are the
Yeah,
only two that get to
because
vote
you
on
are
it.
the only two people getting to vote on it. You're not going to compromise. And
You're
it's
just the
gonna-
Supreme Court.
Exactly.
Listen.
Here's the thing.
Oh, that would be a
Alex and I.
great. That
hold
would be a great
Hold on.
teammate
Alex-
for me and Coho.
Alex and I are better at compromising on positioning than any of you three are.
Shut the fuck up,
Ask
you
me and
stone
Alex when
top.
we
You don't know
made
anything
this
about positioning.
Last time me and Alex did this, it went super fucking well. So I'm gonna bring this up.
This isn't a
So that
cheer
means
talk.
Alex
This is a
did it.
cheer-tatorship.
Next episode
Exactly.
is with special guest Caleb Boatman, and we get to
Someone's gonna
talk
yell
about
at
the
us
debate
Annie
of
Hall.
Star Wars versus Annie Hall, and
Star Wars.
I'm excited
Yeah.
about that. Then it's the Deer Hunter, who we currently do not have a guest for. Other nominees that year? Anyone? I don't have it pulled up.
I don't have it pulled up.
For the Deer Hunter year, that's Heaven Can Wait and Midnight Express
Yeah, I
and
think-
other ones like
Pulling
that.
it up.
It's Coming Home.
Definitely could be fun.
Coming Home, Midnight Express, Heaven Can Wait, and An Unmarried Woman. And then after that, we have Kramer versus Kramer, which beat all that jazz. Apocalypse Now, Breaking Away, and Norma Ray,
Mhm.
which is just, I'm
Okay.
excited for that year because all that jazz.
Alex,
Anyway.
Alex, where are we putting Rocky on this correct list? Because on this list, if we're putting it in the same zone, like, are you putting it above Hamlet? Like, where are we looking here?
I wouldn't put it above Hamlet. I'd put it somewhere among my 2-star movies, so it would be like relatively low. It'd be my like it. Honestly, the way I have it right now, because I have Rocky in my actual rankings. It's in my like bottom 5. Like it's not good.
So where we're at on our combined correct list is we have Hamlet, above it is The Best Years of Our Lives, and above it is Mrs. Miniver.
Hey Jack, what if you just ended the episode right now?
Below Life
No,
of Emile
fuck
Zola.
off, you
Final
guys-
answer. Below Life of Emile Zola.
Would you compromise and say a below Gone with the Wind and above In the Heat of the Night?
Sure.
Cool.
I
Bye.
do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.